Hello. Welcome to the Pinfall Podcast. I'm your host, Liz. I'm joined as always by my co-host, Mark.
I'm Mark. Hello.
I had pizza today,
I did too.
and now I'm in pain.
You're in pain because of all the buffalo.
No, it was the cheese, too. They played equal parts.
Great to have you, DG Games, in the chat. Great to see you. So this was Smackdown, and I gotta be
Happy
honest.
1 week since the worst Smackdown episode ever.
Yeah. What was I gonna say? I mean, I don't know if anybody else felt this way. Also, happy Friday the 13th.
No wonder I feel like shit.
Yeah. I don't know if anyone else felt this way, but this episode felt super lazy. The only part that didn't feel lazy was everything with Corbin.
So, Mark and I do this fun little thing where we play WWE 2K20 and we book our matches and stuff like that. Kind of like managing things. This felt like something I would have booked. Like, this feels like a show I would have booked, where I was just like, I don't fucking know. Throw some shit at the wall, see if it sticks.
Mm-hmm.
None of the matches were really fantastic. I guess the Shinsuke thing was pretty cool.
That was cool, but it felt lazily done. Like, it felt like a lazy way to put the title in his hands. Like, oh, last week he had a championship qualifier.
Okay.
And
No,
now...
I get it.
And how long was that match? Like 10 minutes? 15 minutes? That's decent match length, but it was significantly shorter than the promo that came right before it.
Yeah, well, Jesus fucking Christ, that promo.
26-minute long promo.
Anyways. Yeah, man, I don't know. Just like the past week, I've just not had any interest in anything the WWE has done.
Yeah. I mean...
Unfortunately.
I don't know what the whole Sasha Banks thing is at the end when she has Carmella and Zelina by her side. Like, what is she making a new stable? Like, did both Zelina and Carmella forget that? Oh, did Carmella forget she had a feud with Sasha earlier this year, a big feud, and did Zelina forget she just had a match with Carmella? What is happening? And did they forget Toni Storm exists? And Shotzi and Nox too.
Who?
They could have had Shotzi Nox just come out and join Sasha. Like, turn them heel.
I don't know about that one, but
Or have,
I know what you're saying.
or have Toni Storm come out and join Sasha. You know, it doesn't change much, and it's a bigger surprise than having Carmella and Zelina just come out.
Am I not supposed to be spoiling AEW for you right now?
You should not be spoiling AEW, and the way your eyes widened, I have a feeling I know what happens. Because I know what the first match is. That's why I said to stay off Twitter.
It's in my Discord.
Stay off Discord for like an hour.
I don't want to do that. That's how I talk to my friends.
Alright, so... Also, your Discord should have like a spoiler chat or something. Or use the spoiler marks.
Well, no, because it's in the live blog section. So if I don't want to know what's going on, I can just mute the live blog section because I know what's going to happen in there. They will be live blogging.
Then you should mute it.
Yeah, maybe some people don't care about spoilers, Mark. It's me.
Okay. Anyway. Everything else in this episode felt super lazy. Finn Balor wasn't there.
Who?
Phineas. No, none of the NXT people were there. Finn, Tony, Shotzi, Knox. None
Oh,
of
they
them
were
there.
released.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, if they were from NXT, that's just probably a safe assumption at this point.
Right. That sucks for Big E and Corbin and Roman and Seth.
Oh, no. I just meant like in the last year.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Silly.
Then that also sucks for Street Profits. Oh, were they in the last year? Oh, less than 2 years ago.
I don't think last year.
They were definitely, they hadn't been in a main roster match with the crowd prior to this year.
Okay.
Anyway. So, yeah, SmackDown. Better than last week. Still not a great show.
I like that I painted my nails, and now that I'm like looking at it on camera, I'm like kind of just blends in with my skin a little bit. Which isn't great because it's a golden color. So I mean,
I don't think it blends in.
Okay, maybe it's just because my glasses are off and I can't really define anything.
You want to do the news?
I have a lot of news to cover.
Oh, great.
You have to pretend to enjoy this.
I don't have to pretend to do anything. Because I'm the heel of this show.
We live together.
Yeah. That's not kayfabe, though. That's our shoot lives. Do you want to put up the sign?
Anybody ever thought to themselves, Mark seems funny. I'd like to hang out with him. Wrong. He's mean.
I'd like to meet that person. There's probably only one person that thinks that.
Anyways.
News.
Yeah. Despite your best efforts. Okay, so let's pull up the news. First thing is Dominic Giannucci passed away at the age of 89. He used to be the he trained Mick Foley, he trained Shane Douglas. He worked in WWF, WWE. He was the International Tag Team Champion alongside San Martino. And then the World Tag Team Champion with Victor Riviera and Shane Douglas.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he became a trainer in his later life. Training Mick Foley, Shane Douglas, and Brian Hildebrand. So yeah, passed away at the age of 89. So our best wishes to his family. And then on slightly not great news, Brian Knobbs was hospitalized due to stomach issues. Apparently he's organized a GoFundMe campaign because they've got to do like a whole bunch of fucking tests to figure out what the fuck is going on. Also his knee has given out. So yeah, not great. Hopefully he figures out what the problem is and recovers well. Okay. Let's talk about some non-WWE news. Gable Steveson fucking annihilated Jake Yeager in a way that he really didn't have to do it. He didn't have to do what he did. So on Twitter, and I'm sure it's still there if you want to look, Hager said, "I bet $20,000 that Gable Steveson could not take me down. Any takers?" And Steveson said, "If you want to lose 20K in 5 seconds, then let's go." And Hager said, "Well, someone has to pay the taxes for your gold. Would you like Houston, Chicago, or New York?" And Steveson said, "Never heard of you, but DM for my address." I just think it's funny because Jake Hager is just a weird dude. And for him to think that he could take on Gable Steveson, he's a big dude.
They're probably friends and just shooting the shit or something. I know a lot of wrestlers and
that. I would say that,
do.
or I mean, Gable Steveson has expressed interest in joining something along the lines of AEW or WWE.
Mm-hmm.
So he might also just be playing along, whether he knows him or not.
Mm-hmm.
Which also fair. The only reason I don't think that they might know each other is because Gable Steveson is a lot younger than Jake Hager. So, let's see. There's some stuff that's pretty big that I want to talk about, and some stuff that's not quite.
I've got something that you might not have.
What is it about?
About Ric Flair.
I might not have it because I didn't think it needed to be had, but you might have something else, so go for it.
It's that Ric Flair is expected to sign with AEW when he's legally able to.
Yeah. I thought we knew that.
It was rumored, but now it's, according to Dave Meltzer, from what he's hearing, Ric Flair seems to be a lock to sign with AEW. I assume when his non-compete ends. And apparently, Ric Flair was supposed to unveil the AEW World Title at Double or Nothing in 2019, but health issues prevented that, and Bret Hart had to take that spot instead. Yeah. I don't know if you knew that happened, but Bret Hart came out and revealed the AEW title.
Yeah, I didn't know that. Speaking of AEW, so the Acclaimed thing is getting a little weirder. Bowens has been working matches solo, and apparently the Acclaimed has been completely dropped from... I wrote from WWE rankings.
Nice.
So. But they've been completely dropped from the AEW rankings, tag team wise.
Right. They probably just don't want them, like, hanging around while Max Caster is in sensitivity training, because they don't know how long that'll take. But yeah, I think they're making the best moves right now to kind of let Caster lay low, keep Anthony Bowens working, and let everything sort out.
Yeah. So there's a segue here, but I'm not going to do it because the segue would lead into the story I want to finish with. Mm-hmm. So on that note, Pat Buck and Molly Holly have new responsibilities as producers. Those responsibilities for Molly Holly, Molly Holly was originally traveling to Smackdown tapings after trying out as a producer, and she is now working as a producer. And Pat Buck now is taking on additional duties in the talent relations department. Because I guess they need all the help they can fucking get.
Yeah.
And then we also have a slew of trademarks right now.
Oh boy, time to speculate based on trademarks.
NXT UK has some trademarks. This is pretty obvious. It's from Mustache Mountain. I think it's really fucking stupid of them to fucking let the WWE trademark. Just saying, because they use that a lot in the indies, and it's like, say goodbye to it if you ever leave. But, so that happened. And we also have trademarks for Hit Row was trademarked. Stun the World was trademarked. Wreck Everyone and Leave was trademarked. Claymore Country was trademarked. The Man was trademarked. The Man was trademarked again, but 4 different things. And then a third time, 4 different things. And then Legit Boss and Earn Your Scars.
Oh, that was somebody's catchphrase, but I can't remember
Yeah,
who.
I don't know who now. It was in my head, and I was like,
Wasn't it a woman? Earn your scars. Maybe a quick Google search will, unless somebody knows in chat.
um,
Oh wait, was it Edge?
oh, maybe.
Oh yeah, it's Edge. Yeah,
Um,
that's his
but it's
earn
just like,
shirt.
it's just interesting to me because like, that's a lot of trademarks I thought they would have already had.
Well, they're renewing them.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, that makes sense.
Oh, that's nothing new.
All right, so Keith Lee also finally explained where the fuck he had been. And I guess we had every reason to be, we were completely valid in being worried about him. Which, like, this, I was surprised that it wasn't just, like, Vince keeping him off. Because it seemed like a Vince thing to do. But I kind of, at this point, wish it had just been Vince keeping him off TV.
So I don't know if you're gonna explain it, but the reason he was off was because he had a blood issue, where the doctors told him that if he were to wrestle, complication would happen and he could die on the spot. Basically,
He also had heart inflammation, which was
heart inflammation, and they had to keep doing tests and MRIs and everything until the inflammation settled down. Until recently, when he was cleared to wrestle. This is all as a result of COVID, and he wanted to reassure that Mia Yim had nothing to do with him getting COVID. She got COVID after him.
I don't know why people were
The internet's
like,
fucking crazy.
even if they had been safe and they still had gotten COVID, and one of them had given the other COVID. And sorry, what do you expect from two people that live in the same house?
I don't think they live in the same house.
Well, the way he was talking about it seemed like they were living in the same spot at the time.
But he then clarified on Twitter that the reason he kept this from everyone, it was his own intention to keep it to himself, and then later explain so that he could focus on what he needed to do, and not have to keep like updating everyone.
Yeah.
Which makes sense. Good that he good that he's all better.
Don't do that. Sorry. That was trying to bite me.
I thought you were telling me not to do that. I was like, what did I do?
She started licking my knee and I was like, mm-mm. But yeah, I mean, thank God he's doing better.
Mm-hmm.
Makes his appearances all more important.
But now whenever I watch him wrestle, I'm gonna be like praying that he just doesn't like collapse or something.
No, I mean, they wouldn't let him wrestle if there was gonna be a risk.
Right.
I mean, they've got insurance also, so
he's probably still getting checks and tests every now and then.
Yeah. So I guess it's time to go into the full story of the day, which is a continuation of the same story that we've been talking about for the last 3 episodes. NXT is a fucking mess.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently Wheeler Yuta tried out. He was denied, and that signaled a change in their hiring ideals, as I think probably Dave Meltzer put it.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's coming out that apparently, and let me pull up this article so that way I'm like not just talking out of my ass.
I have Wrestling Observer newsletters or Dave Meltzer's article on it if you want me to read it.
Hang on, let me make sure I've got my article open. I'm not gonna be able to find this quickly, so
You want me to just
Yeah,
read what
go
I
ahead.
got? Okay.
Yeah.
So according to Dave Meltzer, Paul Levesque, aka Triple H, is being blamed backstage for losing the Wednesday Wars to AEW, which WWE thought they would win easily. His detractors who fear for their position if he takes power are using the opportunity to denigrate NXT with released wrestlers being pawns in the power struggle, end quote. Yeah. Also has to do with them driving Karrion Kross to lose twice on Raw. And Aaliyah beating Dakota Kai despite her having a title match. Although the Aaliyah Dakota Kai match was a dark match. But NXT is apparently being cast as a product full of independent workers who can't draw, which is unable to attract a younger audience, according to sources.
Yeah. So yeah, I had basically the same article that you're looking at.
Yeah.
It's just it's bananas to me, and like it's heartbreaking all at the same time.
Yeah.
It's like a lot of the wrestlers that were let go were really good wrestlers.
Mm-hmm.
And like we can kind of take solace in the whole, oh well, they'll find work somewhere else and stuff like that, but like
not for 30 to 90 days.
Well, that probably 30 because they've got NXT contracts, but also like according to Sean Ross Sapp, like as of recently, everyone that has been fired since the first Black Wednesday, only 18% of them or something have contracts. Which you don't need a contract necessarily.
Yeah, you can still work independently.
But
I have a couple other things to add on to that. First of which is something DG Games said in chat. He said, I'm gonna be honest, Mark and Liz are probably bigger than Adam Cole. Him on the main roster is death. That does tie into a good point that I wonder if Adam Cole going to the main roster has to do with this power play, if they're just going to treat him like Cross and completely bury him, which he seems like the perfect type for the main roster to bury because he's not a big guy.
Hi. So, may I remind you and anyone else, very specifically, an insider said if Adam Cole's fans knew what they were going to book Adam Cole with, as far as like going to the main roster and how he's going to be booked there, they would not be excited.
What if he's like a bodyguard for someone?
I'm sure it's just like I can't even like begin to imagine what it is, but it's just like they're taking people that were money makers or potential money makers, and they're snatching them and getting rid of them, or they're taking them to the main roster. They're trying to basically dilute NXT back down to being shitty, which
Now there was one more thing I wanted to say, but first I wanted to fantasy book something real quick.
Oh dear.
At the draft, just imagine Adam Cole and Finn Balor are drafted to Raw with AJ Styles, and him and Omos and the four of them make Balor Club one more time.
Dude, Tamatonga still likes Finn, so if there's one person you want to be in with as far as Bullet Club is concerned, it seems like it's him.
Yeah, he seems the gatekeeper of the group.
Yeah.
But
girl boss, if you will.
There's another thing to mention with the whole NXT situation. According to Dave Meltzer, once again, those in NXT said that not only did Paul Levesque, who runs NXT, nor Shawn Michaels have a say in the cuts, but they weren't even aware of them until after Laurinaitis started calling the talent. That is unbelievable.
Dude, imagine just going about your day and all of a sudden a bunch of people, somebody that was in the middle of a fucking storyline, in the middle of a new stable, just gone. And I don't know if they're gonna have any more cuts. There was the threat of it, but I'm not sure.
They said that it's gonna be the culture from now on, I guess.
And on top of that, which I feel like this kind of loops in a little bit. Currently, from now on, 205 Live is gonna keep featuring bigger guys.
Honestly, fine. Like I'm fine with them allowing more talent to come in, as long as there is more talent that they're willing to have introduced. But at this point,
what's the point of it being 205 Live?
Yeah, at this point, just cut 205 Live, put more talent on NXT Prime, and put NXT Prime on Hulu, which I think it already is. I think it's like after it airs. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just like, at the very least, don't treat us like assholes and stop calling it 205 Live. Because what is the point if they're not under 205 pounds? Like, of course the bigger guys are gonna win. They're fighting small dudes.
Well, not necessarily. I mean, I haven't seen any matches yet that are big guys versus small guys, because the match that a lot of people are referring to for the people over 205 was Joe Gacy versus Josh Briggs, which are two guys over 205. I don't think there has yet been a over 205 against an under 205 yet on 205. I'm saying 205 a lot. Although there was one match where Odyssey Jones was in it, but that was for the breakout tournament spot.
I'm tired.
You want to move to the episode, to Smackdown?
Yep.
All right. And I went to Twitter once, saw one tweet, and was like, wait, I shouldn't be here. I don't want fucking Rampage spoiled for me.
I didn't realize it was only a 1 hour show.
Yeah. I saw some comparisons, like 3 hours of wrestling on Mondays. It's like, it was like the Drake meme. Compare 3 hours of wrestling on Mondays to 3 hours of wrestling on Fridays.
Oh, speaking of, real quick, you knew the statistic because you told me about the statistic, with the draw from NXT.
Yeah, so the video on YouTube of Indy Hartwell making out with Dexter Lumis from last week's NXT, that got 3.4 million views on YouTube. Meanwhile, the main event from Raw that same week, Nikki Cross versus Charlotte Flair in the No Holds Barred match, that got about, if I remember correctly, 757,000, somewhere around there. So, I mean, you want to talk about the younger audiences? The younger audiences are not watching TV, first of all. They're not watching fucking USA. Like, that's your first problem.
Especially not if Chicago PD is right in the front of it.
Yeah, like maybe put it on a better channel for children or younger audiences.
It's so God.
Like put it on YouTube. Like, legit, have it be like a YouTube premium series or something. I don't know. Alright, so we start off SmackDown with Cena in the ring. And I spilled a bottle of Coke, so I started just a little bit late. Yeah, don't tilt your head at me. You know what happened. I know what happened. He said, "We have a lively classroom tonight. Do you think Roman will beat the hell out of me at SummerSlam?" There was a variety of boos or no's and yeses. He said, Roman Reigns will beat the hell out of me, but I also know he will lose, and there's nothing he can do about it. Roman Reigns comes out. He says, don't waste my time. Cena says, I'm not going to waste your time. I'm going to wait until 1 week from tomorrow at SummerSlam to embarrass you. Roman says, is that it? Is that all you got? Cena says, that's all I need. And then he continued to go on because that's not all he needed. He said, when I look at you, I see a guy who waltzes around here thinking this is your show, thinking we all have to play by your rules, thinking this is your company. Everybody knows it belongs to you. Or everyone knows it belongs to them. I've known you're sick. I know you're sick about that because... Wait, I know... Oh, okay. He phrases weird. I know you're sick about that because you're so far above everyone else. I'm the only one that can shut you up. The WWE has been pushing you for a decade now. You're the best chance they got. No other WWE superstar has a chance. That's where I come in. You see, Roman, they know they've got 1 week left to choose. Team Reigns or Team Cena. And everyone's chanting which team they're on. And Cena says, Tulsa has chosen. SummerSlam is going to be history. I told you, it's that show. Roman says, I thought we were going to get something original. You say the same stuff. Come on, cut me. Hit me with some good stuff. Cena says, I'm not going to beat your ass. He continues to say the same thing he already said. I'm not going to beat your ass. Roman is going to beat my ass. Spear, big punch named after another DC character. Big punch named after another DC character. Hype man slimy in the corner holding up the championship. I don't need to prove myself. I just need to pin you. 1, 2, 3. If I can hold on to that just one more time, that'd be the 17th championship for me. That match would make history. All I need is 1, 2, 3. They're making that into a shirt. It's really all about you. I'm here to help you. Roman says, that's how good he is. He's here to help the tribal chief. I'm not like you. I'm not going to bury my opponent and say I'm going to get beaten up. Or, I'm not going to bury my opponent and say I'm going to get beaten up. You're John Cena, arguably the greatest of all time. Underappreciated. You've done things nobody else has ever done before. You're the best. I could beat John Cena. You're good enough to juggle Hollywood and WWE. We don't have enough time on Smackdown to promote your movies. You're good, man. Your career says it. You're good enough to main event SummerSlam. You're good enough to win the WWE Championship. But you're not good enough to win the Universal Championship. 20 plus years of missionary might be good enough for you, but it wasn't good enough for Nikki Bella. Ooh.
This poor girl.
Ooh,
Like,
yeah.
they've been broken up for so long. She's got a child with another man now, and you know for a fact that like she's gonna hear about that and probably just be like,
Yeah. Also, I don't know if this was true, but this whole segment might have been completely unscripted.
well, the way that John Cena was repeating himself over and over and over again, I wouldn't be shocked.
Yeah. Roman continues, I'm going to retain this title. I'm going to send you back to Hollywood. This might be the last time, Tulsa, you get to see John Cena ever again. And Cena says, you want a compelling story? You haven't been embarrassed. You've been protected. Those giant bars of soap you have for teeth, you've been protected by the Shield. You almost ruined Seth Rollins. You ran Dean Ambrose out of WWE. That's the first AEW reference of this promo. 2 lackeys to do your dirty work. It still isn't working. You need to be embarrassed. SummerSlam will be compelling. You will smash me. He knows how much punishment I can take and never quit, referring to Paul Heyman. All I need to do is hang in there. 1, 2, 3, and you're the biggest failure in WWE. You have to shine and smash and overachieve. All I need is 1, 2, 3. Who did John Cena need to beat to become 7-time world champion? Wah, wah. Then I'm going to take your title, jump the barricade, and run out of Allegiant Stadium as fast as I can. Second reference to AEW, technically. Because that one is in reference to CM Punk. CM Punk did the same thing once he got the WWE Championship. I might even blow you a kiss goodbye. That's with that reference too. It's inevitable.
I'll wait till the end. Never mind.
Okay.
Keep it going.
Said it's inevitable. No one can protect you anymore. At SummerSlam, the champ is gone. 1, 2, 3. What would you want to say?
I just mentioned Dean, and I was like,
Yeah.
are we allowed to do that?
He showed Dean in a video package later on. And Christian.
Both fucking, yeah. Fucking, between Seth and John Cena, where they're like, forcefully just like, look behind the door!
Even though Vince would never.
Oh no, Vince every night, he just like fucking seals the door up by like smelting like aluminum in the hinges.
No, it's duct tape. It's duct tape.
I mean, duct tape seems so weak.
Yeah, and as we see, the door is opening a little bit.
I mean, Finn was hanging out with Tamatonga, so...
Yeah.
You tell me.
So right after that promo, we get Shinsuke and Boogs rocking out backstage before Shinsuke's match against Apollo Crews for the Intercontinental Championship. Liz.
Ayo.
Would you like to start off this match?
Yeah, we would, I guess. So we get a suplex to Shinsuke, and then a high leg lariat to Apollo. He whips Shinsuke into the buckles, then charges at Shinsuke, but Shinsuke dodges, sends a knee into the gut of Apollo after getting him sprawled across like the top of the corner, as he always does. Apollo then goes up top. He headbutts Shinsuke down, or actually I think Apollo was placed up top. He headbutts Shinsuke down, and then Boogs gets up on the apron and plays his little guitar, and then he gets fucking kicked out. And then while that's happening, Aziz is like, let me just tiptoe in because I'm not a massive human being. And the ref turns and sees him, and he just stands there like,
He's like, no, you're in the ring.
And the ref was like, get the fuck out of here. And then finally throws him out too. So now it's just the two of them alone. And that was about the time that I knew where this match was going. So there's an enziguri to Shinsuke up top, as Shinsuke goes up top. And then Apollo gets the stun Shinsuke down into a superplex. He then powerbombs him, does not release, goes into a sit-out powerbomb. Can't pin him though. Apollo starts to get mad. He goes for the frog splash, but Shinsuke gets his knees up. And unlike like when Jey Uso or Jimmy Uso like go to do like the frog splash, but we know it's not going to work out, so like they kind of just go down like vertically. They're like, well, you were never going to hit the move. Cruz like went for this and very much landed on Shinsuke's knees, and I was like, oh no. So there's a Kinshasa attempt that's met with a step-up enziguri. He goes to put Shinsuke across his shoulder, but Nakamura hits him with the arm drag, gets him with the fireman's carry takeover, and then another suplex, and then Shinsuke goes for the Kinshasa, and he gets the Kinshasa. And then he wins.
Yeah, that was very surprising. I wish they'd built up to it a bit more, to be honest.
I think, yeah, because Shinsuke deserved to have the title. He deserves to have this.
Yeah.
It just would have been nice if they had, like, given him the storyline that he also deserved with the title attempt.
I mean, compare this victory to Apollo winning the title, and then to Big E winning the title. Both of those examples, both face and heel, had huge build-ups.
Mm-hmm.
Shinsuke just had a championship contender match last week and wins the title with zero story.
Mm-hmm.
It's like he not only does he have the king gimmick, he's got a great hype man with a badass electric guitar. They could build some kind of badass story with him. Taking on a guy who's from royalty, who has like a royal guard with him. You're telling me you can't make story there? You can't do like royalty versus royalty kind of storyline? And now I guarantee next week what we'll see is the start to a storyline because they have the championship wins now. What was that?
I smacked my phone, it hit my wrist, and then bounced.
Okay. Is it okay?
Let's see.
Okay. But what they're doing now is they're having the championship wins and then afterwards building the story. You saw the same thing with Nikki Ash.
Mm-hmm.
It's what we're gonna get now, and it sucks because getting the title should be the climax of the story.
Yeah, because I mean, where do you go from there?
Yeah. I mean, retaining the title is not as big as winning the title. Like, think about Roman winning the title at, what was it, SummerSlam? No, it was Payback, I think.
Oh, it was SummerSlam.
No, because he appeared at SummerSlam. That's when he came back. And then the
You're
pay-per-view after was when he showed up late, speared the Fiend, or Braun, and, you know, one of them. And then won it. Oh my god, it's just so annoying. It's like such a well-deserved thing, but they're so lazy about it. Anyway, afterwards we have an interview with the Street Profits. Montez said, "Last time me and Otis encountered, it was one of the most painful experiences of my life, not being able to laugh, but now I'm rehabilitated." Dawkins says, "Tez is more than tag partner, he's my brother. Now that he's fully healed, the Street Profits are up, and we want the smoke." And then we get Alpha Academy versus the Street Profits.
Yes, we do. And I kind of knew where this was going to. We start with Gable versus Montez. There's a wrist lock on Gable, which he flips out of. Gable then tosses Montez down, throws him into an arm submission. Gable is very, very briefly thrown into a head scissors submission from Tez. And then Gable gets the drop toe hold and another arm sub on Montez. Montez then does his little acrobatic flippy shit. Hits an arm drag to Gable. Gable hits an arm drag to Montez. There's nearly a heel hook, but Montez flips out of Chad's hold and ensiguris him. Otis gets in off of that. There's a drop kick and a kick to Otis's midsection. Dawkins gets in. Otis tosses Montez up and then down, but he's not the legal man, so it doesn't really matter. There's a corkscrew elbow to Otis and a big suplex to Dawkins. Chad gets back in. There's shoulders to the midsection. Otis gets in for the same, and they go back and forth like this for a little bit until Otis gets in. He spears Dawkins in the corner. Gets Chad in, but not on purpose. Chad just reaches over the ropes and taps Otis on the back like, "Good job, buddy." And Jess Carr was like, "Well, now you're legal. You got to get into the ring." And Chad was like, "No, I'm not."
Stupid.
It was so stupid because I was like, just get in the ring. Otis, get out of the ring.
And tag
him back in. It doesn't have to be difficult, guys.
But also, we've had wrestlers touch other wrestlers before and it not count as a tag.
Yeah, I
mean, of course, all refs are different, which I guess that's the kayfabe explanation for this, but yeah.
I don't know. So Otis then is shoved off the apron by Dawkins. Montez then flies out onto him, nearly killing himself. And then Dawkins gets a pop-up corkscrew neckbreaker to Chad to win.
Yeah. Could have been a super fun match. Till that little bit happened to just cause a weird distraction. Like, it wasn't even a distraction finish. It was just weird.
Mm-hmm.
So then we get Seth Rollins in the production truck. He's like yelling at the crew, telling them what he wants. And then we go out to the ring. Seth Rollins comes out after commercial. He says, "Tulsa, you have been on fire tonight. I hate to play the role of party pooper, but my sources have told me that Edge will not be here tonight. I am as disappointed as you are. According to Edge, you guys have got the next best thing. You guys have Edge Light. He had the nerve to call me Edge Light. It makes perfect sense. Edge is a Hall of Famer. He's done everything there is to do in WWE. He can't stand the fact that my career has been just a little bit better than his. He can't stand the fact that everything he's done, I've done it better. We have proof. And then he plays the footage of like his video package he put together with voiceover, Edge's career, Seth's career. He says, I see no lies. The video footage doesn't lie. As I was watching that, I had a bit of a revelation that Edge should be thanking me. Not just Edge, all of you should be thanking me. If I had stopped Edge in 2014, we wouldn't even be having this conversation. All these moments, none of that would have happened if I had stopped him. He pushed me too far. He's making me say things I don't want to say. He's making me be a person I don't want to be. Edge, this is not 2014 anymore. Times have changed. I have changed. At SummerSlam, I will not hesitate. I will not hold back. I will stomp your head into this mat, and if that puts you out for good, then so be it. Damn.
Just reminds me of that one Vine. I won't hesitate, bitch. It's with like those really like those two boys.
I don't think I've seen that.
You definitely have, because I've definitely watched it with you. It's just him like holding like a fake gun with like sunglasses on.
Mm-hmm.
And like his shirt is stuffed to make it look like he's like a lady. And I don't know why, but it's the funniest thing to me, and that's all that reminded me of. And honestly, if anything, Seth is a child, so fair is fair.
After that, we get the Mysterios in gorilla position. Ray said, no mistakes this time. Dominic said, I'm not worried about it. We beat him last time. It's fine. And Ray says, you've got to stay humbled and hungry. You can't be overconfident. Do it for me. Let's go out there and take care of business. And then they do against Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode.
The Ray and Dom storyline is starting to stress me out.
They're getting to the point. They're getting to the point of betrayal.
Something's gonna click. Something has to click. They feel it. I'm feeling the tension. And today, especially, how this match ended, I don't know. I'm getting Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus vibes right now, and it's giving me a lot of anxiety.
Yeah.
It's sort of like when like two people are kind of on edge with each other, and like they start being like a little passive aggressive, and you're like, am I gonna watch a fight happen today? Like that's where I feel like I am with both of those feuds, or to be feuds. Anyways, so we have Ray versus Roode first. He swings at Ziggler, who's trying to like interfere, just to get tossed into a backbreaker from Roode and then kicked in the stomach. Ziggler gets in. He gets whipped into Ray. He then sends Ray into Roode, who hits him with a spine buster, and then a boot to the face of Ray from Ziggler while Roode holds him. Yeehaw. There's a headlock on Ray, then Roode gets back in. He kicks Ray in the stomach, puts him up top. Ziggler gets in. Ray starts fighting down. Headbutts. Sorry. He headbutts Ziggler away. I accidentally wrote Dom, so I guess I'm already planning the breakup in my head. So he headbutts Ziggler away, and then hits a seated senton down onto him, gets Dom in. There's a crossbody off the top rope and a neck breaker to Ziggler. He takes Roode off the apron. He rolls Ziggler up. Doesn't work out. He gets famousered. There's a near kick under the jaw of Ziggler, but Ziggler catches him. He still ends up enzuring Ziggler. Nearly gets the 619, but guess who shows up? Sort of, kind of, maybe. It's the Usos. They show up on the Titantron, and this distracts poor Dominic, who was just like, he just kipped up. He was about to go do the 619. He was looking good. But then Roode gets in, because Dominic is distracted. And while Dom is distracted, Roode comes after him. Ray shoves Dominic out of the way. But Dominic, after Roode takes Ray off the apron, Dominic still manages to roll Roode up. So I don't know what the vibe's gonna be, dude. I don't know if the vibe is like, oh, like Ray's been saving your ass, or
The vibe's gonna
I can
be
still win with fucking up.
get off my ass, Dad. I can take care of business. Stop thinking of me like a child. That's most likely what the story's gonna be, and then Dom's gonna beat Ray. Probably at a fucking, I don't know, Survivor Series or something. Or they'll be drafted to different brands.
No, I need father versus son. I need that in like the deepest parts of my heart. I love that chaos.
We'll see how the draft goes. Right after that, we get Corbin's last plea. So Corbin comes out and says, "Some of you may know I've been down on my luck lately. It's so much worse than that. If it doesn't turn around quickly, I'm gonna have to file for bankruptcy. When someone like me falls, you want to keep them down, don't you? This is the last time I'm gonna ask for help from any of you. I want each of you to give a minimum of $1,000. Kevin Owens comes out. Corbin says, "Kevin, I know you're out here for the right reasons. I'm not sure if this works with Canadian credit cards." He's got the little square credit card reader. Kevin says, "I'm not here to help you. I'm here to tell you to stop begging and embarrassing yourself. I thought you were like me, someone who learned from their mistakes. That's not the case. What you're trying to do is use people's sympathies for your advantage. You ruined Finn's opportunity to get a high-paying match. Then you went to Raw and asked Drew for $100,000. Who begs for $100,000? Corbin says, "Someone who needs $100,000. Just give me your spare change. I'm not leaving until you give me a minimum of $1,000. Kevin says, "Alright, you know what? I will give you $1,000. Clearly they want you to leave, but you gotta help yourself to get it. You just need to beat me in a match right now. If you lose, this stops. You stop embarrassing WWE by begging the WWE Universe for help, and you help yourself." Corbin says, "Fine, I agree. I wouldn't be here if you weren't a cheap piece." He says, "If you weren't a cheap piece of," and then is cut off by a stunner. Can I just say, I feel like this is projection. I feel like this whole storyline is kind of WWE projecting how they view homeless people. Like, oh, stop begging. Help yourself.
I've heard that, and I don't disagree with it, because it's like you watch and you're like, immediately it smacks of that. And it's kind of like, should I be having fun with this storyline? Because I feel like maybe I shouldn't be. But then somebody made the point, and I don't remember who the fuck it was, that technically this is them making fun of rich people who are down on their luck and start groveling.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Take it how you want to, I guess.
I mean, I can see that. I can see that. That
like,
makes a lot of sense.
Asking for $100,000, hoping to just get that money, that incredible sum of money.
Right. I feel like they should be leaning more into that, though, instead of having him do work for Jinder. Or,
yeah, no, I know.
Because, I wouldn't be thinking the other way if he hadn't tried to get in on the contract signing, because I really wanted that. That put me on Corbin's side right there. But, like, I don't know. Miriam said, "Oh, do you think this is why WWE trademarked complaining is not conversation?"
No, I feel like they were speaking directly to me with that one. I'm more interested in when Happy Corbin's coming around. I'm still wondering what that was about.
I swear some of these trademarks they're like plans initially, but sometimes they just don't follow through.
Can I just say, by the way? Cranberry grape juice. They don't make better stuff than this. They really don't. I I could chug the whole bottle of this shit.
Okay. But then we get Kevin Owens versus Baron Corbin for $1,000.
You know what?
I am telling you, what we should have gotten was LA Knight coming up to SmackDown for this one story. Not only was he like made for the main roster, but this would have been perfect. He like dangles $1,000 in front of Corbin. This turns Corbin babyface. And he says, you can have this $1,000 if you beat me in a match. Corbin beats him. Or they could even just have LA Knight beat him. Although, with the climate with NXT, they would have had Corbin stomp LA Knight.
Yeah, it's true.
But then Ted DiBiase comes in and beats the shit out of Corbin.
No, Ted DiBiase was also released.
Imagine.
Gotta laugh to keep from crying.
We're just seeing a cardboard cutout now.
Yeah. I just cannot believe that's been just a week. It feels like it's been a month that we've been dealing with these like fucking releases and everything else happening with NXT.
It's been a year. A year we've had releases. 50-something releases.
And every time that somebody gets released, I'm like, well, it cannot get worse than this. And then like last week they were like,
ooh,
you want to bet on it? I was like, oh. Literally, the worst part too, and I don't mean to sidetrack like this, I don't know why I am. But the worst part was that literally, before we heard the news, I was like not paying attention to the TV, and I was just scrolling through the WWE shop, like, I might buy something, and I saw the Diamond Mine finally had a shirt, and I was like, maybe I'll do that for myself. And then, like, 5 seconds later, I saw the first tweet and I was like, anyways, now that I've celebrated that 1 year anniversary, 1 week anniversary, so we get a senton onto Corbin to start and a stunner. There's a chop to Corbin's chest. Kevin, sorry, the stunner came first. I don't know why I mixed that up. So Kevin whips Corbin into the corner. Kevin Owens gets whipped into the corner. What the fuck?
What did you write?
There's chops to Corbin's chest. And then I wrote, Kevin Owens whipped into the Corbin. Okay. Kevin Owens was whipped into the corner. Corbin gets knocked out of the ring, but he does his little fast Corbs thing right into a super kick. And then a cannonball. Kevin then goes up top, and Corbin grabs him by the throat. There's a right hook to the face of Corbin of Kevin as he brings. I'm fucked up right now. Sorry. For being sober, I'm really fucked up. Right hook to the face of Kevin after Corbin pulls him down from the top rope. Then there's jabs to the face of Kevin. He wants the powerbomb on the apron, but Corbin ends up hitting him with a backbiting drop on the apron instead. Kevin then goes up top again. Corbin meets him up there, wants the superplex, but Kevin is too stubborn for that shit. He headbutts Corbin down, swantons onto him off the top rope. There's a boot to the face of Kevin and then a choke slam. Kevin headbutts Corbin. Corbin still manages to get a deep six off. Does the fast Corbs thing again, nearly gets super kicked again, but Corbin catches it this time because he's learning and drives Kevin Owens into the post. Still not a pin. Starts pleading with the ref. Kevin goes for a stunner on Corbin, but then can't get that. Ends up flipping Corbin over like his shoulders, like kind of like a Panama sunrise thing. Similar. Hits that, pins Corbin, then hits him with a stunner for good measure, and I was like, very heelish of you, Kevin. Very heelish.
KO's always been a tweener.
Yeah, that's true.
Alright, so after that, we get an interview with Corbin, asking, what now? He doesn't answer, but instead runs off and steals Big E's Money in the Bank briefcase. This is the biggest thing that's happened in this entire episode. Finally, we got something interesting.
They barely pointed it out, really.
Yeah.
Like, we didn't even get Big E's reaction to it. We just saw Big E go...
Yeah. And that's what happens when you have a built storyline. You have an interesting development rather than just a surprise title win. So after that, we get the Sasha and Bianca contract signing. Sorry, I just accidentally scratched myself. So Sonya's standing in the ring alone, not with Adam Pearce this time. She says, when Bianca defeated Sasha, they made memories that would last a lifetime. Once his contract is signed, Sasha Banks is going to get her rematch at SummerSlam. With that being said, please help me in welcoming the challenger. Sasha Banks comes out, and then Bianca comes out. Bianca says, Sasha, are you ready, or are you going to run away again? Or should I turn my back so you can backstab me again? Sasha kind of rolls her eyes, and Bianca says, oh, you're still petty and jealous. I should have known better. If you wanted a rematch, all you had to do was ask. Sasha says, you use your braid against me, giving me a scar, and you expect me to be your best friend? Get real. I think she's a get real bitch. And Sonya says, stop. These signings have gone haywire. Just sign your names. And we all know that's not how it works.
No.
Sasha fake signing her name. Well, like I don't know what the fuck she was doing. Stupid. She fake signing her name. Carmella then comes out for some reason. And Zelina Vega comes out for some reason.
Can I just say for the both of them, unless Carmella is coming out for a match, when her music plays and when Zelina's music plays, it plays and I'm just like, what the fuck is that?
I legit thought when Carmella came out that the Bella twins were coming out. I was like, okay, fuck, this is actually kind of cool. But no. And then they side with Sasha, and Sasha says, I am always 2 steps ahead of you. She signs her name. Bianca signs her name. A brawl then starts. Bianca throws a chair, not at anyone in particular. Carmella and Zelina beat down on Bianca. Sasha puts Bianca on the table and beats her down on it. And she stands on the table and chokes Bianca with her own braid. And that's the end of the episode. I want to know why. You're only slimming down the women's division by putting 3 of the 6 women on the same side.
Oh no, Mark, you're confused. See what they're doing here? It's really smart. They're looking at AEW and they're saying, how can we be more like them to get more fans? And in doing that, they've cut the women's division down to as small as they can possibly make it so that they don't have to show them that often. Yeah.
You're assuming that they thought about it for that long.
Yeah, you know, you got a fucking point there.
What would probably happen was they tried to get the Bella twins, but they weren't available today. So they used the next best thing, Zelina Vega and Carmella. When they could have used like Toni Storm or Shotzi and Nox.
Would we say that was the next best thing?
I would have loved if Toni Storm came in and sided with Sasha, because at least Toni Storm would have been like a surprise. And like,
yeah, but Tony's got too strong of a personality for them to do that.
You could say the same about Piper Niven. Like Tony doesn't have a storyline right now. She doesn't have any history with anyone in SmackDown. So it would have been perfect. Not perfect, but it would have been better. But instead we got this jumble.
Where's Liv?
God, I hope she's okay. I miss her. So yeah, that's SmackDown. Do you want to move to bests of the night?
Yeah. Now poke.
Alright, so promo of the night.
I feel like this one's gonna be easy.
Yeah. Do you know what you're gonna pick?
Yeah.
Alright. I'm going with John Cena and Roman.
Yeah, we were subjected to it for a quarter of an hour. We may as well give it the best of the night.
Plus, I mean, they were great with those references. Poor Nikki Bella. That was, I mean, they've built their own sub storyline with the whole missionary position. You had to have known it would have come around to Nikki at some point.
I never even thought about it.
Really?
That's also because I've got respect.
You're better than Vince.
Well, yeah, I would hope. God.
Only in that aspect. Only morally. I'm sorry, but he's got you beat everywhere else. He trains with his personal trainer every midnight. Every midnight, him and his personal trainer go to the gym and fucking work out. Like, he is still on his shit.
Okay.
And he's got more money.
I work out at a normal person's time.
He's got more money.
That doesn't make him better than me.
I didn't think you'd be so defensive about this.
I am better than Vince McMahon. That's why I'm defensive.
You're better looking than Vince McMahon.
I'm just going for morally, but like things.
I already said except for morally, Vince is. This was just supposed to be a little joke. It wasn't meant to be anything else. Oh my god. Somebody help me. Alright, so let's do wrestler of the night now. I know what I'm picking. Do you know who you're gonna pick?
No, actually, I don't know if I do.
Okay, so I'll go one by one then. Damn it, Mets lost. So we started off with Apollo Crews versus Shinsuke. I'll go with Shinsuke. He was fun to watch, but nothing more than that. The match didn't feel that compelling anyway. So I'll go with Shinsuke. After that, we had Street Profits versus Alpha Academy. I'll go with Montez. Montez had some cool maneuvers that were fun to watch. Then we had the Mysterios versus Dolph and Rude. They've stopped calling them Dirty Dogs. Even in the announcements, they're not calling them Dirty Dogs anymore.
I don't know.
But I'm going with Rey Mysterio, I guess. I don't know. I didn't really enjoy watching anyone in this match. Maybe Dom, but Dom selling his distraction of the Usos was pretty lame.
Break the Dirty Dogs up. Give Rude his fucking music back. Make Dolph an interesting character again.
Yeah, make Dolph a singles wrestler. He is great when he is singles.
He doesn't get to be on the mic anymore, and that makes him like just boring as shit. Like his moves are great, but like his moves are tired. He's been around a while.
Yeah, some flashy moves aren't enough to make somebody interesting.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look at Montez Ford. You take away his mic skills and everything, but when he's the whole package, he's fantastic.
Yeah.
And then finally, Baron Corbin versus Kevin Owens. I'm going with Kevin Owens. Or no, I'm going with Baron Corbin. Corbin was great. He was a lot of fun in this match. Corbin, ever since this whole turn, it's been so good. I've been really enjoying watching him wrestle, watching his promos, everything he does, and I love the story beats within the matches. Corbin kind of has it all. So I'll go with Baron Corbin for wrestler of the night.
Okay. I can go with that. It makes
Cool.
me feel bad for him, so
Yeah.
he's doing something right.
Yeah. That shows they're doing a good job with that, at least. Alright, so match of the night. Nothing too awful today. We'll go from worst to best. Also, before I get into match of the night, if you have keep burping. If you have a question for us for our question segment after the best of the night, leave it in the chat now, and we'll get to it after this segment. Leave it in the chat now, so it's there. Alright, so, worst match of the night. The Mysterios versus Ziggler and Rude. It was pretty fun. It was fine. The little distraction thing from the Usos was pretty lame. But them winning despite the distraction was a nice swerve from the norm with WWE. But all in all, the match was just fine. Next up, another 4 out of 10. Alpha Academy versus Street Profits. It was fine. I mean, the end with the whole tag thing, that was so lame. Like, that's one of those switch up in the rules that WWE pulls to, like, have a dirty finish or something.
Mm-hmm.
It's lame. Alright, next up, 5 out of 10. Baron Corbin versus Kevin Owens. It was a decently fun match. Had a good story beat. But I don't think the match had quite the length to really make it anything substantial. The best part about this part was the promo before it, and then what happened afterwards. The match itself, it was fine. It was pretty fun. I wouldn't say it was the best we had today, but it was pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
And then finally, the match of the night. 6 out of 10. Shinsuke Nakamura versus Apollo Crews. It was a very fun match. Like the match itself, it was a lot of fun. They gave it a decent amount of time. The only thing that would have made it better is some kind of stakes. You have the title as a stakes, but like there's no emotion in the match. There was no heart. There was no outside factors. But going to outside factors, the distraction that Boogs tried to do and the one that Aziz tried to do were so lame. I'm tired of these two pulling off distractions every fucking match. Especially Boogs'. His is lame. It's just playing the guitar. Is music really that distracting to a wrestler? So it would have been a lot higher if it hadn't had that stuff, but it was still fun. So, my pick for match of the night, Shinsuke Nakamura versus Apollo Crews.
I agree with you. I thought it was a really good match. I thought it was really entertaining. And it was just very shocking how it ended.
Yeah. I honestly, I thought Shinsuke was gonna lose because of some distraction. And then they would take it to SummerSlam. They're probably still gonna take it to SummerSlam. Because Apollo's probably gonna complain. But, yeah. It was fun. Alright, you want to answer some questions?
I guess.
Let me check in with YouTube to see if we have any questions there. I don't think we do. Oh, Milam asked a question on the Raw podcast. He asked, what's your opinion on what should be the purpose of NXT? Should it be a developmental brand, a third brand similar to Raw and SmackDown, or a blend?
It should be a different brand. It should just be a different brand. Like, it should be its own show, not developmental, because they already gauged it past being developmental. Like, you can't go back from where they were.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's just a downgrade. I think that it should be used exactly how it's been being used, if that makes sense, which is just a rougher, more indie version of wrestling.
Yeah. I don't think it should be a third brand equivalent to Raw and SmackDown because it's already separated itself. It already has a different vibe and a different kind of style. I think what they should do to kind of mix the brand aspects with the developmental aspects, because I would love if they still kind of kept it some kind of aspect of developmental. They just have like a yearly call up, like a round of call ups every year, done in like a ceremony style, like the draft. Maybe do it around the same time as the draft. I feel like it would be you can still keep that developmental aspect, but keep it as like its own show. Otherwise, I think they should completely separate it from the WWE canon and just have it as its own third brand. When somebody's called up, quote unquote, they move to the main roster. They can be somebody completely new. But I think having them as a direct third brand doesn't fit. You know? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do. I think that it's been its own thing for a little while now. And for them to want to go back to how it was 9 years ago or something. What was it?
2014, I think. 7 years.
Okay, so 7 years ago. It's just not realistic.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. What they should be doing is kind of just making it the underground brand. Like kind of treating it like that. Like you can separate it from the main roster by saying that these guys are used to wrestling in a more grungy environment. They're not used to wrestling in large coliseums. That way
I thought was kind of the point that they were pushing recently.
Yeah, but apparently not. And that way there's still like that call-up aspect to it, that developmental aspect. But it's still, there's a level of equivalency there.
Yeah. I don't know. I just think, you know what? I think the purpose of NXT is exactly more or less what it's been, and definitely not what they think it's going to be.
Yeah. Yeah, I think NXT has been perfectly fine how it was the past couple of years.
Yeah.
Especially recently, after they switched to Tuesday. Miriam has a question. How's Pepita doing?
She's such a good girl. Oh. She was in here before. She tried to bite my knee, which wasn't very nice.
Is that when you said stop?
Yeah, that's when I said stop. She's good though. She's really good. She's not been enjoying the heat wave though.
Oh.
She lays down everywhere she possibly can.
Mm-hmm.
She's so good. She's so soft. Like, it's so sweet because people are like, oh, dogs greet you at the door, cats don't. Well, whenever I come in to the house, she always gets down from wherever she was to come and meet me at the door. So, she's a very good girl. She's doing really well.
That's good. Also, Miriam has another question. If you could make one final NXT match, someone from NXT versus Triple H, who would you choose? I've got two already. I've got like a joke one kind of and a real one.
Okay.
Joke one, Vince McMahon. Where Triple H wins, NXT stays around. But if Vince loses, it goes under. But the real one, I'd probably say, if it's intergender, Rhea Ripley. But if it's, same gender, LA Knight. I think that would work really well story-wise. Like you could easily spin something there, and I think LA Knight could make something work with an old man that is Triple H.
Hear me out.
Mm-hmm.
Hear me out. Duke Hudson.
Duke Hudson.
Big guy, powerful. I think that he could take trips on.
Wait, no, there's such an easy answer.
Shawn Michaels.
I was actually thinking that, but no. Karrion Kross. Joe can't do it at TakeOver, so Trips has to step in.
God.
Take out the sledgehammer.
Or Johnny would be funny.
Johnny would be funny. I feel like that would get so emotional though.
Maybe.
Dexter.
Part of me is thinking somewhere Tim Tams works.
The thing with Thatcher's wrestling is he would need to contort Triple H. And I don't think at Tripp's age that would be possible.
That's maybe fair.
Miriam said Triple H versus Karrion Kross, where Triple H blames him for the fall of NXT. There you go. There's a storyline. That's perfect. That should be the final match of NXT.
If Triple H wins, Karrion Kross has to leave, and Triple H gets all of his released wrestlers back.
All right, that's pushing a little too far.
No, it's how it works.
That's your fantasy booking?
Yeah.
Well, what if Karrion wins?
We all lose anyway, so...
if Karrion wins, WWE belongs to AEW.
Roddy could be pretty good.
I'm thinking more so on just like the grand story scale. Like, who's been causing a lot of trouble for the brand itself?
Oh.
Walter.
Walter.
Finn would have been a good one.
Who?
Balor. Fergal.
Fergal?
Fergie
Ferg?
Ferg. It would either have to be somebody beloved by Triple H or somebody that has just been a thorn in NXT's side, like Karrion.
So, Rhea or Adam Cole. Or Karrion.
I wouldn't even say Adam Cole, because Cole, like, he's not doing anything to NXT itself. He's just imploding Undisputed Era.
Maybe he can fight Wheeler Yuta.
That'd be really
being
good
the
match.
turning point in hiring ideals.
Yeah.
How could you do this?
Oh god. NXT missed out on Wheeler Yuta because he is gonna be a fucking star. He's gonna be massive. He's like super young too, I think.
Let's see. He looked super fucking young.
I know that's like one of the big things with Wheeler, like a lot of people were really questioning with Wheeler Yuta. Like, he's super young, so you would think everyone would love him. How old is he?
Our age? Question mark?
24, 25?
He's 24. It doesn't say when he was born, so he's either our age or he's...
Yeah, 24.
Wait a second.
Why?
Oh, Drew Gulak trained him.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, he's only 24. He's gonna be a star. I can't wait.
Yeah.
But that's the end of our questions. Liz, would you like to close out the show so we can watch AEW Rampage?
Hi, my name's Liz.
Just cut the feed.
I'm sorry for not bringing any good jokes to the podcast tonight. I'll work harder next time.
Okay, I brought all the jokes today.
If you tuned in tonight, thank you.
Thank you
So much.
So much.
Thank you. And if you tuned in the future, thank you so much. We appreciate it. We appreciate all of our viewers, whether you're here live or here not live. Next time we do this podcast, maybe my tummy won't hurt.
Thank you all for watching.
Say?
Please subscribe and follow. If you subscribe on the Twitch, you get the past 2 weeks of episodes without having to wait for me to put them on YouTube. Who knows when this one will go on YouTube. But speaking of YouTube, that's the Pinfall Podcast on YouTube. Go subscribe there. You can get all of our previous episodes, plus our cat predicting pay-per-views. Our Twitter is at Pinfall Podcast. I'm at the Mark Cameron on Twitter. Liz is at Eliza Elaine23. And we'll see you on Monday for Monday Night Raw. Have a fantastic weekend and stay safe and cool.